The twin suns of Garath bled orange across a battlefield that no longer moved. Smoke curled from the wreckage of dropships and plasma tanks, twisting skyward like the ghosts of the fallen. Ash drifted across what had once been a field of crystalline grass, now reduced to glassy shards that cut through armor boots. Commander Exwera Velth, of the Cthari Dominion, knelt among the ruins. Her armor, once a brilliant hue of obsidian silver, now flickered with dying energy veins. The battle had ended hours ago, though ended was a generous word. Her platoon lay silent, scattered like discarded shells. Exwera pressed a trembling hand against her chest plate, feeling the slow pulse of her secondary heart struggling to keep rhythm. The poison from a Terran plasma round had burned through the molecular lattice of her exosuit, spreading into her bloodstream. Her body was failing and she knew it. But more than her body, it was her purpose that was failing. For 10 cycles she had fought in the Dominion's holy war against the Terran coalition, a war over a single word neither side fully understood anymore. Honor. The Dominion called the humans primitive. Yet, as she watched their ships soar above, patching the wounded and carrying survivors to orbit, she wondered which side had truly been savage. Hours later, the battlefield was nearly deserted. The Terran med drones hovered through the wreckage, scanning for life. When they found Exwera, she was barely conscious, her breathing shallow and labored. Non-human life form detected. One drone chirped in a neutral tone. It was followed by a man, a human. His armor bore the emblem of the Terran Peace Corps rather than the Coalition Army. His name, displayed on the chest plate, read, Dr. Elias Trent. He wasn't a soldier anymore. He had once been, before the endless slaughter broke something inside him. Now he came only after the battles, looking for the living among the dead. When Elias saw her, his first instinct was to raise his weapon. The Cthari were known for their ferocity, towering multi-limbed warriors with chitinous armor and eyes that glowed like molten silver. But this one was downed, her breathing ragged. "Command, I've got a live Cthari," he said, tapping his comm. "She's still conscious, but she's bleeding out." "What are my orders?" "Terminate the hostile. No prisoners," came the cold reply. Elias hesitated. He looked at her again, the way her hands trembled, the way she clutched something against her chest. It wasn't a weapon. It was a pendant, shaped like a small glass sphere, inside of which glowed a faint light. He lowered his gun. "Command, negative. She's not a threat." "Static." "Then, that's an order, Doctor." He switched the comm off. When Exwera opened her eyes, she found herself beneath a flickering field light in what looked like a human medical shelter. The pain was dulled, replaced by a cool numbness. Her armor had been removed, leaving her in a simple thermal wrap. She growled weakly and tried to rise, but the human appeared beside her. "Easy," Elias said softly. "You took a plasma burst to the chest. You're lucky to be breathing." Her silver eyes narrowed. "Why am I alive?" "Because I don't kill people who can't fight back," he replied, checking the med scanner. "Even if they were trying to kill me a few hours ago." She turned her head away. "Mercy is a human weakness." "Maybe," Elias said with a faint smile. "But sometimes weakness is what saves us." He worked in silence, repairing the damage he could. Cthari physiology was complex. 2 hearts, a fractal vascular network, and an immune system that reacted violently to most Terran medicines. But Elias had studied alien biology for years. He improvised, mixing Terran nanogel with liquid synth blood, monitoring her vitals on an old tablet. Over the next 2 nights, the storm outside battered the med tent. The battlefield had become a death zone, No one was coming back for either of them. They were alone in the wasteland. By the third night, Exwara could stand again, though unsteady. She studied the human as he sat near the heater, his eyes fixed on a small holographic photo, a woman holding a child. "Your kin?" she asked, voice still hoarse. Elias looked up. "Yeah, my wife and daughter. They're on Luna Station. Probably think I'm dead." "Why are you here then?" he sighed. "Because I couldn't sit and watch the war from orbit. I thought if I came down I could help clean up the mess we made." She tilted her head, insectal mandibles flexing subtly, the Kthari equivalent of curiosity. "You are strange, human. Most of your kind seek only victory." "Not anymore," he murmured. Silence filled the tent again, broken only by the hum of the heater. Sur looked down at her pendant. "My people fight for the honor of our ancestors. Every warrior who falls is remembered by the Dominion. I thought, if I died in battle I would find peace. And now," she hesitated, "now I am not sure what peace means." Elias nodded. "I get that." Days passed. They scavenged for food, patched the shelter, and waited for rescue that never came. The war had moved on, the front lines shifting light years away, leaving only ghosts behind. Elias learned to understand her strange humor, dry, blunt, and often cutting. Sur learned that humans smiled even when they were broken inside. One evening, she caught him watching the sunset. The twin suns bled across the horizon again, the same way they had when she was dying. "Your eyes," he said quietly. "They glow brighter in this light." She turned to him, surprised. "It is our way. Kthari eyes reflect the energy of the nearest stars. It is how we see in darkness." Elias smiled faintly. "Makes sense. Your light in the dark." Her chest tightened, a strange, unfamiliar ache. "You speak as if I am not your enemy. Do you still see me as yours?" he asked. Sure opened her mouth to answer but said nothing. That night, they were awakened by the shriek of engines. A Terran gunship descended nearby. Scavengers, not soldiers. When Elias tried to signal, a plasma round vaporized his antenna dish. The ship had seen the light and assumed they were Kthari survivors. Sura moved instantly, armor or not. She grabbed her discarded spear blade and lunged out of the tent, deflecting incoming rounds with inhuman reflexes. Elias shouted for her to fall back, but she ignored him, moving like lightning across the sand. For a moment, Elias saw what she truly was. Not a monster, but a warrior born of grace and fire. The scavengers turned their guns on her. A burst struck her shoulder, another her leg, but she kept moving, cutting through the attackers with brutal precision. When the last one fell, she collapsed to her knees. Elias ran to her, catching her before she hit the ground. "You idiot," he hissed. "You could have let me handle it." She coughed, blood like liquid silver staining her lips. "They would have killed you." He pressed a bandage against her wound. "You didn't have to." Her hand closed over his wrist. "Yes, I did." Her voice trembled, not from pain but something else. "Among my kind, there is no greater bond than to owe a life. You gave me mine back. Now, it is returned." Elias looked at her, eyes burning with something unspoken. "You don't owe me anything, Exwara. Not anymore." Her breathing slowed. "Then why does your touch calm me?" He didn't answer. He couldn't. He only tightened his grip, refusing to let her fade again. By dawn, her wounds were stabilized, though barely. Elias worked tirelessly through the night, using every tool he had left. The storm had cleared, and the wreck of the scavenger ship offered them a chance, a working beacon. He turned it on, sending a distress signal to any passing vessel. Hours later the answer came. Not from Terran Command, but from an independent freighter. They promised pickup in 2 hours. "You'll be safe," Elias told her. "They'll take us both off-world." She looked away. "And then what?" "You will return to your people." "I have none left." Elias paused. "Then stay with me." Her silver eyes widened. "What you suggest is forbidden. The Dominion would hunt me. The humans would never trust me. Then we go somewhere neither side cares to look." He smiled faintly. "The galaxy's big enough for 2 runaways." She didn't reply. Instead, she stood and looked toward the sunrise. "Among my people, when a warrior finds peace in another's presence, we call it Shathran. It means the quiet between battles." He nodded slowly. "Then maybe that's what this is." When the freighter arrived, the pilot nearly refused to take them both. But one look at the two, the broken human doctor and the towering alien warrior leaning on him for support, changed his mind. As the ship rose into the upper atmosphere, Garath shrank below them, a dead world that had stolen too many lives. Exwar sat beside Elias in the cargo bay, her gaze distant. "Do you think peace is real?" she asked softly. "I think," Elias said, "it's something we build one choice at a time." She nodded slowly. "Then today I will choose it." He smiled and reached out, resting his hand gently over hers. The contact sent a faint pulse through her bioluminescent skin, a ripple of color that glowed faintly between their fingers. For a Kthari, touch was sacred. No warrior shared it lightly. And yet she did. Outside the viewport, the stars stretched into infinite streaks as the freighter jumped into hyperspace. So leaned back, feeling warmth spread through her for the first time since before the war. A warmth born not of battle or duty, but of something far rarer. Hope. Years later, stories would circulate on the fringe worlds, of a human medic and a Kthari exile traveling together, healing instead of fighting, crossing from one war-torn system to another. Some called them deserters, others called them miracles. But to Exware and Elias, they were neither. They were just 2 souls who had found each other in the ruins, each saving the other in ways words could never explain. For she had been ready to die. And he, the human whose touch defied everything she believed, had brought her back to life.